We are live, Renee.
We are live on Facebook. Good morning, everyone. It's Renee Roque from Women's Council of Realtors, and we're happy that you're with us this morning. I am so excited. I can't tell you, I could barely sleep this morning because we have some amazing leaders in our industry with us today talking about Elevate, which is our upcoming Women's Council of Realtors National Convention, and you need to be there February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We're here with Marki Lemons from my mom's hometown, Chi-Town, Chicago, and Carrie Little. Welcome, Marki and Carrie. You guys are looking fabulous today. Ladies,
You know,
welcome.
we're just presenting leadership. I've got my leadership shoes.
Uh-huh. That looks very familiar.
You know, they're not on. Not that I'm saying I'm wearing Uggs or anything and a dress, but we
Well,
are demonstrating true social leadership today.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
we came as our alter egos. I am the Michelle Obama, and I have monochromatic down to a science darling. I just could not find my hair placement this morning, so we just gonna flick it for you, baby. Flick it.
You look
But-
fabulous.
and I don't think I could do Madam Vice President Kamala Harris any justice. But here we are.
Oh, no, no. Don't underestimate yourself, Carrie.
Listen. I am just excited that there's someone that is willing to put on sneakers, right, Marky? We do not have to wear heels every day.
All the time.
Just say this because leaders do what leaders want to do, right? And this is what I'm
Oh,
wearing today.
no.
So I bring my own shoe game to the party.
Let's just be clear.
We're talking to comfortable boss ladies here today. Comfortable. I love it. Thank you. But thanks for being here. And Women's Council of Realtors, our conference, you guys have gone and created something that we've never heard before. Of course you would. Of course you would. Social leaders. Tell us what is this special session that you're going to have for us. What are social leaders, please?
So I'm just gonna. So Marky and I, for those of you that don't know, I do have the privilege of talking to Marky, and she might answer my phone call if I call her in the middle of the day, because some of you have probably tried. But
Yep.
I say that to say Marky and I have been working on this new PMN certification just for you to help you become not just the leaders that you know you already are, but a virtual leader. So I'll kind of give you a quick definition and then I'll let Marky jump in because there are three parts to this certification. So a virtual leader is someone who can not only see how things can improve and rally people to move toward that better vision, but a virtual leader is someone that can work in a virtual world, bring people together, continue with social engagement while navigating technology.
Wow. And you guys do that amazingly. Absolutely, you're the best, the finest. So thank you. If I could go back just a second, Carrie Little, what is PMN? What is
It's
that?
the Performance Management Network. It is a designation for Women's Council members. And I would just challenge all of you, and just to kind of give you some backstory, I've been in the industry now since 1997, got licensed in 2001, and I went to Women's Council events, but I really didn't understand the value. Mom at home with kids, still trying to do business. But it was in 2013 where a woman by the name of Kathy Nosek tapped me on the shoulder and really shared with me the value of getting involved in not just our local, state, and national associations, but getting involved with other like minded women. And Women's Council has really leveled the playing field and given me a platform to not only network with women, but also to have a platform where I can learn from women and educate. So if you're not involved in Women's Council, we challenge you today. How about if you haven't renewed your membership? We
Ooh,
need you to
yes.
do that. And we need you to sign up for this Elevate conference that is happening next week. And then you get Marky and I in the same place. I
Oh,
mean,
lots of fun.
drop the mic.
Lots of
Too
fun.
much fun, actually. Look, we're going to educate you. You're going to come and pay for the education. The fun is extra, and we're going to bring the fun. When I start thinking about the Women's Council, when I think about this event, which is a first of its kind event, What I want people to envision is not just a Marky Lemonsrow or a Carrie Little. I want them to also think about a Nakia Pipian McGriff, the first African American female president of the Chicago Association of Realtors. I want them to think about a Sarah Ware, who has served on the board of directors for the Cook County Land Bank. I want them to think about a Tracy Royal. These are federal political coordinators, they're state legislative contacts, they are showing up. And as I tell people, you have to show up, camera on, light ready, in order to stand out as a leader. So leaders are made here, and there's a certain way that they must carry themselves online like none other than the Brenda Lee, who is a pioneer, who did something that no man did first. She did it first. So let me just say that. Brenda Lee had the first national race discussion in this country when things weren't going well. We all have one thing in common: women's council. So if you want to be that leader that stands out in your marketplace, who is a known leader, not you calling yourself a leader, when people describe you as such, we're going to show you some of the things that we've implemented in our businesses. And Carrie and I have collectively over 20 years of real estate experience. We have volunteered at the local, the state, the national level. We have both attended the CIPS course. Actually, we were chosen to attend a special version of that course because of our leadership skills. And I recently had a situation with a neighbor of mine, and I tell people the true testament of a leader is they act the same no matter what's going on around them. They show up as their true, authentic self. We don't fake the funk on being leaders. We're just natural leaders who intentionally take action in order to secure our future, and that we're always that same person, even in the heat of the moment.
That's fantastic.
And
So
let me say shout out to Marky, because one thing Marky is good at is she is good at bringing people along with her.
yes.
But and Marky could probably tell me the date, but when all of these things transpired, and when Brenda Lee, even before Brenda Lee went and brought all of these minority leaders together to have that hard discussion, we saw Marky very transparent. And as we were building this course, I'm like, Marky, let me explain it. So I'll go more into detail on February 3rd. But just rewatching the video where Marky was talking about the riots that happened in the city of Chicago, and the idea of we don't understand what it's like to live in a black person's shoes, or to be a black male, or in Marky's case to have two black sons and one is lighter than the other. A lot of you don't understand that Marky, her leadership raised over, was it $50,000?
Over
Well over
50,000.
$50,000 for the city of Chicago neighborhoods. That's and this program is run through the Chicago Realtor Association. So I'll go more into detail with that next week. But Marky has actually demonstrated what it's like to have that call to action and be that social leader. Whether it's going live, whether it's you're in her DM and she needs to respond to you. And some of you might even be thinking, well, Carrie, Marky, Renee, I am not willing to go live. I'm not willing to do video. But for you, it might be virtual leadership, might be getting into someone's DM or answering their questions or watching what's happening in the social world and knowing how and when to respond.
So it sounds like what you're saying, Carrie, is having a voice, and it's okay to have a voice. You know, a lot of people say with our virtual world, 2020, there were so many things that weren't good, but we all have gone to virtual platforms, and it does give us a voice, doesn't it? For some that might not have had a voice before.
It definitely gives you a voice. And I know that you don't have to do video, that some people are introverts. But let me say this: I interviewed a gentleman named Matthew Pollard. He wrote a book on selling as an introvert. And what he stated was that you still need to identify a niche. What is going to be your unique selling proposition? For those of us who are in leadership roles. One, we were volunteers. So I'm going to give credit to the Frank Williams. Frank Williams is the second African American president of the Chicago Association of Realtors. Frank told me, Marki, you have to volunteer more to volunteer at the level in which you want to volunteer, right?
Right.
And volunteering changed my real estate career. Single handedly, one of the most important things that I've ever done was to volunteer within the Realtor organization. I was born and raised a volunteer. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So I've always volunteered, but I didn't volunteer as a realtor. And now the mass majority of my volunteering is within the world of real estate. And it is a quicker path in order to obtain those leadership roles when you're in the trenches and you're giving with the president of this organization, the CEO of that organization. So not only do you want to talk about your efforts in giving, right? You want to make sure that you align yourself well. And all of this brings about that virtual leadership role, right? But it starts with volunteering and showing up, not just to volunteer, but to be a good volunteer.
And
I don't volunteer just to volunteer. I show up and I want to give you the best of me. I want to be your best volunteer.
fantastic. Thank you for that. That's an incredible platform. And I never realized until I actually got into real estate and became a realtor. I can't same thing. It's kind of ingrained in us from church and ministry and always just serving that the real estate environment, this world, realtors really do give back. I've never seen such an industry because I came from the entertainment industry, but I've never seen so many people that just serve and love their communities and love people. I sit on the city task force for homelessness here in Santa Clarita, and we are just want to help people. It just blows me away how when people choose a realtor, we're really hoping that it's not just someone that they click the little thing and say, hey, I want to see a house, but know what that person stands for and who they are as people, because it's gonna, at the closing table, it's gonna mean a lot. Would you agree?
Carrie?
Absolutely. A lot of times and we've seen it. We've seen it in our state. I'm sure you've seen it in your state. And we know, let me tell you, you guys don't think we know, but we know when you are just checking the box. I am not saying that there's a meeting after the meeting. And but we know when someone is just checking the box.
Right.
There is something to servant kindness. And Marky and I mean, we've talked. There are days when I have sent the hard email or I've made the hard phone call, and then I question, should I have done it? Sometimes I've questioned, should I have sent it because I don't have time because I'm because of my schedule. Because once you do send that email or make that phone call, now you end up doing getting more involved because now you're the person that had the voice.
Yeah.
But trust me when I tell you, we know when it's not, if there's not a heart change.
Authentic, the heart,
Yeah,
the
we know when
passion.
it's not authentic. I mean, we really do know. And listen, I don't want to police anyone, but there is something about when you naturally give people really, and I don't mean of your money. I mean your time, or it's the hey Carrie, can we talk? I mean, there are times when, Renee, especially Marky, we're not just realtors. Even when we wear the hat of helping our clients, we become that counselor or that person that someone can say, hey, let me just tell you what's going on. I'm having a hard time. And even with COVID, I mean, there are times when I've had to talk real estate agents off of the, you know what, I think I'm done with this. I need to figure something out because real estate just shifted. Like there was a huge pivot and we didn't know how to handle it. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's something about that natural servant kindness.
And working in the background, and people will never know what you're actually doing because you might not be the front person. You might
Yeah,
not
we
be.
don't need to know. We don't, I mean, there are times when I've shown up for things and I'm just like, look, listen, I'm just here. What do you want me to do? And let me give you a good story, Marky, before I let you jump in. So there was a time when I was helping a small business owner, not real estate. And just to paint the picture, I got there early. I did exactly what she asked me to do. I wore all black, and I'm just so you get the idea. This was a salon. She's a young entrepreneur, and I'm successful. I didn't need to do this, but she was like, "Here, I need help." I was like, "Okay, let me fit this in." She had successful women in her salon, and it was exclusive to them. They were doing their own facials, they were doing makeup, and they were all learning. And some of these women were talking to me like I was a higher help.
Uh-oh.
They were just, some of them were nasty. And I was like, you know what? I had to put on my Lord, just let me just put on my servant kindness hat. So
Humble.
when we were done, this young lady was like, "Okay, Kira, we're done." I was like, "You sure? You want me to help you clean up?" And she's like, "No." So I leave, and this was the day I drove my yellow 5-speed convertible Porsche.
Woo.
And one of those women was outside at the time, and she looked at me and she said, "Is that your car?" I said, "Yes." I said, "It was very nice to meet you. Have a good day." And I
Something
left.
changed. Something changed, right?
Sometimes you don't know who's in the room.
Of course you don't.
And that, I mean, I always think back, and I mean, they still to this day might not even know who I was. And I'm when I tell you I'm conservative, I'm even conservative when it comes to social media, how I dress, things like that. But that person didn't know. So sometimes you don't know who's in the room. And I'll tell you, I've been standing next to the CEO of the Chicago Association of Realtors at a national convention, and I watched how she was treated, and I was like, they don't know who this is.
Oh, well,
Well, we're underestimated often because we're women, and then we're also underestimated oftentimes because we're black. And then, as I explain to people, I'm the shortest, darkest, roundest person in the room with the least amount of hair. So then I get the size judgment and the lack of hair judgment, understanding that my tummy happy, right? I'm not over here starving to death, and my husband likes the dimples on the booty, so I keep it the way he likes it, right? And I don't like sitting in the salon, and so it's a personal choice, but I know that I'm a connector.
yeah.
And I know that we now live in a world of 3 degrees of separation, and I can get to all those degrees, okay? Because I have a built out platforms, because I'm considerate, because I'm viewed as being easy to deal with, because I understand that it takes hard work. And I'm not the only one. When we look at the Women's Council, that is a network of like-minded people, and they aren't all women. I say the Women's Council is lucky. They have a few great men who
10%.
come, right? Who come and embrace it. And they like, I'm glad. Look, they probably mad at me right now. They like, why Marky got to tell everything? We don't want all those men
No,
over here, but all these smart, brilliant, dynamic women.
that's what I always think. Those men are really wise to hang
They
out.
look, they show up happy every look. You see them in the parking lot coming in, just smiling. They glad to be there. They looking around like, I hope don't no more men know about this
Ah,
here.
you can see Curtis the boss dogs. He every time he shows up, he is happy. Here we are. Let's go, Women's Council. And he's the president of one of our local networks. Uh-huh.
And so we are really ecstatic to bring you a 4-hour course that will encompass everything that we said today, but it's about being that leader online. And it doesn't start online, it does require preparation, what we've done to prepare, how we have the opportunity to sit on national boards, to have visibility, to have press opportunities. And this comes with everything, but it really starts with your heart, right? And why are you doing this? And are you going to always be that person, which is how we often see people's reputations ruined, right? With one simple post because they forgot who they told the world they were.
Mm.
See, it wouldn't shock anyone to find a video of me cussing because I've already let the world know. Marky is subject to cuss you out, okay? They already know. We're not going to play with Marky. We don't even want her to go there. We don't want her to say her infamous sentence because I tell everybody when I say, look at here now, it's getting ready to be a big old problem. So I've never projected that image to the world,
And no
okay?
one can use that against you if it happens.
Well, they can't. But I have the toughest discussions online. I've had the opportunity to talk about the fact that both of my parents were dope fiends. I've had the opportunity to talk about the fact that my father was physically abusive to my mother. I've shared my past because you will never get the opportunity to use it against me. And what I've learned from sharing is that is when I receive the most emails, text messages, IMs, and DMs, because what I'm clear about, it didn't just happen in my household. And I share that in common with people. But because of confidentiality, which is something, a fiduciary responsibility that I have, I don't tell their business. I just will tell my business because I'm comfortable with telling it.
Right. And you have all authority to tell that. So that's amazing. I think people are looking for authenticity. They want awesome authenticity, especially in a leader. How can I support you if I don't really know who you are? We've had enough of Hollywood and people saying they are something and they're not. So I do appreciate that, and especially as leaders. I can't tell you what an amazing conversation this has been, and it's a real thrill of my day to be here with you, Carrie Little and Marki Lemons, and that I have just admired you guys from afar. Marki, we met in Los Angeles. Carrie, I think we met in San Francisco at Women's Council. And just, I grew, okay, personally, here we go, a little tap. So I grew up not seeing people who look like me. So I grew up in Crenshaw District in the Black community, being told, oh, you think you're white, you want to be white, you're this, you're that, and the other. And I was like, nope, I'm just me. I look like my mom looks a lot of shades different than me. My brother is darker skinned than I am. I'm just Renee. So I never really felt like I fit in. Who knew that you would take real estate to find people who look like you, who connect with you, who say, I'm just a human being? I think there's still people in my life or in the world who don't realize that I'm Black. Because I'll say that and they'll say, you're what? Really? I don't see it. Like, yep. Went to Pepperdine University, studied in Malibu, traveled, went to France and Europe and lived in London for a while. People had no clue what you are. But like I said, when you talked about Carrie being in the room sometimes and people don't know who's in the room. Yeah, we've had those discussions. We've had those conversations, but also for educational wise. Sometimes I remember experience with my sorority when one of the girls said, I've heard some rumors about Black folks. Is it true you only like chocolate ice cream?
I don't even eat chocolate ice cream.
And get this, my mama, she's 90 years old. To this day, she will not eat watermelon, delicious watermelon, because she remembers growing up in Southside Chicago when people had those postcards of the poor Black folks eating that watermelon. She will not touch it.
Look, my neighbor won't eat watermelon or fried chicken publicly. If it maybe on the back porch on a summer night, but he was like, "There's no way you're gonna put that off for him under no circumstances."
It goes deep. It goes really deep.
Yes.
Oh,
these are the things no one ever hears about.
Yeah.
Unless you've been in our shoes.
Yes, right. And but you know what? I mean, God makes us all. He has a purpose for us. And I do feel that I have been in circles where it has been I'm not, people can approach me and ask me questions that they wouldn't ask maybe Marki, but they could ask me and say, hey, they found out from Los Angeles, is it true that everyone has a gun in Los Angeles? Is that true? Like,
I mean, look.
Yeah. Now, well, there are myths about Chicago and the South Side, and so I've had the opportunity to have NAR leadership at my home just because I wanted them to come to the South Side to experience the hospitality, to understand that, yes, we do have a nice house and yes, the lawn is maintained and you could come on in here and we can have a really, really good time together.
Safe, right?
And, yes. And we're bonded through that leadership role, not just nationally, but also globally. So Carrie and I are looking forward to this new program. We want you guys to click on the link, register for Elevate, spend time with us in that PMN course, developing your virtual leadership skills because it can change your life. And I know Carrie can share her own story, but last year, Friday, March the 13th, is when I was snatched off the road. I would have had 100 face-to-face events in 2020. I pivoted to 125 virtual events. This year, we will do 250 virtual events. And so it has allowed me to totally pivot what was a successful business, that every element of it died, to pivot into not one, but I now have 4 successful businesses.
Don't tell them what it is. Don't tell them what they are.
I'm not going to tell them virtually. Okay. So, I can't tell them because they need to come to the class. And so,
and I'll tell you my story.
Yeah, the nuggets. Yes, we'll tell you the stories in class. So register on how we pivoted, how we still earned an above average income in the midst of a pandemic because of the internet. The internet is what saved our households because we leveraged technology before. You have the opportunity to do so now and to hear our horror stories on what not to do. But how did we do it as a leader? Right? Making hard decisions because sometimes we were, when Brenda Lee called, we were like, I don't know if we want to talk publicly about race.
I mean, like
Ooh,
listen,
really?
because
Brave. Brenda Lee is a trendsetter. She's brave.
Yes, she is. She did it before anyone did it, and we applaud her. And here's the thing, this will be a part of her legacy. She did what no other leader was willing to do, and she did it first.
Hmm.
And I don't care. You can put me in front of the president of NAI. Brenda Lee did it first, boo, and she did it well.
She did it well. That was a
Yes,
wonderful.
she did. Come on, Brenda Lee. Come on. Y'all better register for that class. I'm getting ready to get emotional up in here. What they need to do, Carrie? Tell them again,
listen,
please.
there are a few things you can do. Marky Lemons, just she posted it in on Facebook. I posted it in the feed. I shared it on my feed, and you can simply go to WCR.org. That's WCR.org. Click virtual events and sign up for the PMN course and the full Elevate conference. And Renee, we thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. I am so pleased. Thank you so much, ladies. You have a wonderful day. Marky Lemons, any closing word? Any closing words?
Yes, I'm closing every event with these words. Technology will never replace a realtor, but a realtor with technology will replace a realtor without technology. Don't get your butt replaced.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Words of
Thank you,
wisdom.
guys.
Carrie Little.
Listen, if you want to earn money, my new statement is you have to learn to earn. If you want to make sure that you are in the right place at the right time and you have pivoted, we need you to sign up for this new course for the PMN certification or designation. And if you already have the designation, you need to make sure that you are maintaining this designation. And you, just like Marky said, you want to make sure you're using the right technology so you're not replaced.
That's right.
Amen. All
I
right,
will,
guys.
I will see you ladies there. Thank you
See
so
ya.
much. Have a wonderful day. And bye-bye, guys. It's Renee Roque. Bye-bye.